Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5.
4, 3, 2, 1.
NASA's Artemis 2 spacecraft has blasted off and is now orbiting the Earth in the first crewed mission to the Moon in half a century.
Humanity's next great voyage begins.
While NASA's Artemis 2 crew won't make a lunar landing themselves, their mission over the next 10 days will pave the way for the next human footsteps on the Moon.
Approaching max Q.
Stan, we have you loud and clear on positively on.
Have you the same?
1 minute 50 seconds of mission elapsed time, standing by for main engine throttle down to 85%.
Here, passengers on a Delta Airlines flight traveling from Costa Rica to Atlanta, catching a glimpse of the rocket taking off. If all goes to plan, the spacecraft will head out of Earth's orbit around midnight GMT. The astronauts on board could travel further from Earth than anyone has ever before.
They're secure and they're in great spirits. We will continue to monitor their health and the status as we move into the next phase of the Artemis 2 mission. So after a brief 54-year intermission, NASA is back in the business of sending astronauts to the Moon.
Iran has warned of broader and crushing attacks in response to Donald Trump's latest threat to hit Iran extremely hard over the coming weeks. A spokesperson for Iran's military says US-Israeli attacks on the country have been insignificant, claiming the two countries have incomplete information about Tehran's military capabilities and equipment. In a national address, Trump told Americans he would finish the job very fast, without setting any timetable for ending the conflict.
In these past 4 weeks, our armed forces have delivered swift, decisive, overwhelming victories on the battlefield. Victories like few people have ever seen before. Tonight, Iran's Navy is gone. Their Air Force is in ruins. Their leaders, most of them, terrorist regime they led, are now dead.
At least 13 people have been killed and dozens others wounded by a series of powerful explosions at an ammunitions depot in Burundi's largest city. The army said 57 people, including 3 soldiers, were wounded. Houses and private vehicles were damaged, while military equipment and facilities were destroyed by the blast. The explosions erupted late in the evening, located in the suburb of Musaga, and were caused by an electrical fault, according to the army. Shrapnel and debris were propelled more than 5 kilometers away. Security sources say dozens have died. A 7.4 magnitude earthquake has struck in the Molucca Sea off Indonesia's Ternate Island, killing at least 1 person. The quake, which struck at 6:48 a.m. local time at a depth of 35 kilometers, sparked tsunami warnings, which have since been withdrawn. While the region experiences high levels of seismic activity, some residents say it's one of the strongest earthquakes they have felt in at least the past 6 years. Relatives of the 57 people who died in Greece's worst ever train disaster have crowded into a courtroom demanding justice for the victims. The trial had already been postponed once because of the chaotic start last week. Most of the victims of the crash 3 years ago were students killed when their intercity service from Athens to Thessaloniki smashed head-on into a goods train on the same line near Tempe in the center of the country. The February 2023 disaster is widely known in Greece as the Tempe crime, with many arguing it encapsulates negligence and corruption at the heart of the state. 36 people are on trial in a case that is expected to hear from 350 witnesses and is set to last years. A man has died near Athens as a storm hits parts of Greece with gale-force winds and flooding, while a Saharan dust storm envelops the island of Crete. Storm Erminio has flooded streets, closed some schools and moored ferries. Meanwhile, some flights were disrupted on Crete after dust from an African storm filled the air, turning the sky red-orange.
Ignition and liftoff.
And Elon Musk's SpaceX is poised to become one of the most valuable publicly traded companies in the world. The company, which manufactures rockets, space exploration technology and Starlink satellites, is currently privately held, but it's made a confidential filing with the US Securities and Exchange Commission for an initial public offering, which would allow shares to be traded in the stock market. The value of SpaceX, once it goes public, is expected to surpass $1 trillion. That would make its eventual stock market debut one of the most financially significant in history. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.